Um, do I look fine? Okay, action. Anyways, didn't have enough time these holidays to make anything, record anything. My setup was a bit busy and didn't have anything to talk about besides some minor, or let's say major TikTok drama these days between BRS and Jamal and a couple other content creators. If you guys know who the Line guy is, he basically explained what I'm gonna say very, very well. I agree with him to, kind of like 100% on what he said, because the things that BRS had about dating preferences and society's opinion is simply what people truly are. I'm gonna state the take and give my opinion, and I'm gonna speak about BRS and the drama. Okay, when it comes to dating, most people would say that they want someone who is physically attractive, has a good personality, let's say financially stable, for people who are looking for providers, whatever, education, so many other things, morals, and so on and so on. However, when it truly comes to what people do when it comes to choosing a lifetime not a lifetime, but just a partner, they do kind of care mostly about looks, because looks are the most important things when it comes to dating or anything, in life in general. However, people do not only care about who they find attractive. Some people might tell you that they only want someone that they find attractive, like attractive subjectively, I guess. But most people, when it comes to reality, date someone who is objectively attractive, someone who is wanted by other people. That is just the reality. For example, when it comes to males, most of us guys have experienced this. You're sitting with someone, right, and he basically shows you a girl, and if you approve of that girl, it's like, yeah, she's cute, so whatever. It kind of gets a boost, he gets motivation, he gets passion, towards that girl, and he starts pursuing her even furthermore. However, if you don't approve of that girl, it kind of shakes his confidence in his dating preferences and who he is attracted to. And that is just a very little example of what people where people think people how people react to. Oh my god, I'm sorry. This is a little example of how people react to other people's opinions on their dating preferences. Another example would be height or weight preferences. If a guy dates a girl who is very fat, society is gonna look at him very weird. It's gonna shake his confidence in that girl, so he probably would not want to put himself in that situation. So he would not date that girl in the first place to begin with. Another thing, a guy who is dating a girl who is taller than him, society is gonna look at that very weirdly. The guy might not have a problem with it himself, but if society has a problem with it, the guy's confidence will just shake and he will not care, because he cares about people's approval. And we all do care about people's approval. This is something that people do not want to admit. This is something that people are scared of. This is something that people internally are not accepting. They're projecting it, and at the end of the day, it's what people do. They do care about what other people think of them. I do care about what people think of me. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys and tell you that, oh my god, I don't care. I just, I'm nonchalant or whatever. People can think whatever. I do care what people think of me. Okay, you do care what people think of you. Everybody thinks what people think of them. And I'm gonna make a whole video about this and give examples, because I'm not trying to make this video super long. But if we take a look at women, for example, women do have a height preference, right? For guys, they want a guy who's taller, stronger. Okay, it's hypergamy basically. They just want someone who's better in almost all areas of life, but they do want a guy who is stronger, taller, better looking. Just, yeah, whatever. We'll kind of fixate on height, because height is like the most important thing that women care about after, facial attractiveness. Girls do not care how tall a guy is unless he is taller than most people around her. A girl does not care if a guy is taller than her. She cares if a guy is taller than most people in general. For example, a girl who is 4'11", right? It's 150 centimeters in, you know, non-American people. She will not date a guy who is 6'4". She will not, 6'4". She will not date a guy who is 5'4". She will not date a guy who's 5'3". She will not date a guy who is 160 centimeters tall. She will not date a guy who is 6 foot. What, 6 foot? She will not date a guy who is 5'7", maybe 5'8", 5'9", 10, 11. Doesn't matter. She will always look for dating guys who are over, let's say, 6 foot, you know, 6'1", 2, 3, and we see this almost every day. Very anecdotal evidence. I mean, yeah, there is the statistics, there's studies, there's everything. However, the anecdotal evidence is a bit crazy because I've seen this not once, not twice, bro. I see this every single day with women who are shorter than 5'4", women who are 5'3", 5'2", 5'1", 4'11", 4'10", looking for guys who are taller than 6 foot. It's ironic, it's weird. I won't blame them for it. It's their preference at the end of the day, but it is a bit ironic to say that you want a guy who is only taller and stronger than you are, but you truly want a guy who is taller in you know, societal standards, let's say, social standards, I'm sorry. Why do I say societal? I don't know, I've always loved to use this word, even though it's not really a word, I guess. Yeah, so these women do not really care just about how a guy is tall compared to them, but they care about how tall a guy is compared to society. So, therefore, they do care about what other people think of that guy. A woman will not date a guy who is 5'4", even though the guy is taller than her, stronger than her, can protect her. The guy might even be able to lift a truck. She will not care because she wants the approval of other people. It's the same with guys. Guys will not date a fat girl. They may not date a tall girl if they're insecure. At the end of the day, people do care about what other people think of them. Again, this is just the take. I do agree with it. People do care what other people think when it comes to dating preferences, and people would not date someone who is objectively unattractive, or just subjectively attractive. They will try to date as objectively attractive people as they can. They will keep looking for that person, and if they reach, you know, that goal, they will be happy finally. The BRS drama is what people really hate about BRS. I'm gonna start glazing or whatever. Just so you know, I do watch BRS. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of him, but I just, you know, admire his videos. He has some very good takes, and he really does not care what other people think. Okay, he does care, but he doesn't care about what people think of his takes at the end of the day, okay? He's gonna say things and just go on with his day because he's, I don't know, confident in what he says. Anyways, the thing is, the guy, what he did is took a mirror and just showed people who they truly are. And because people are insecure, they project, they hate themselves, they don't have any self-love or self-acceptance, they will start attacking the guy. Because when you confront people of who they truly are, and this happens all the time, like, you come to people and you tell them of their nature, you tell them of things that are just, you know, common knowledge, things that everybody knows about, and they will still deny because they don't accept who they are. For example, you come to a girl and you tell her that you do care about a guy's looks when it comes to dating. She'll be like, no, I don't care, like, I don't do this, I don't do that, like, I just don't mind, like, there's better things. But at the end of the day, they always thirst for the guys who are physically attractive. Okay, I'm kind of happy fixating Lucasism, but this is all I have to speak about at the moment. When you confront her about her, you know, internal flaws, it's not necessarily a flaw. She might internally, like, believe it's a flaw, and therefore it kind of makes her feel insecure and she starts to project. However, when it comes to reality, she does what she hates. She does look for guys who are physically attractive. I don't know. I can't really think of an example right now, but there are so many other things that when you talk to other people about, they just hate it, but at the same time, they don't want to admit it. But when they really think about it, they just find out that it's the truth, and they've been living in denial. Most of us are living in denial. I'm living in denial. I deny so many things, but at the end of the day, when I think about them, most of them are true, and that is who I truly am. The only true way to get rid of this is to sit with oneself, think deeply about who you truly are, accept yourself. If you have anything that you would consider a flaw objectively, try to get rid of it, try to fix it, and I believe that's it. But at the end of the day, most of these flaws aren't really flaws. People are just scared of who they are. They're scared of their human nature. I don't want to take this very route, so I'm gonna end this video before I start talking about how unnatural it is to make a video on this phone. Bye.